The 2-2 Chiefs could easily be undefeated. It's time to show if they can keep up with the NFL's elite. The NFL on CBS takes us to Kansas City, Missouri. The Patriots and the Chiefs. The 40th anniversary seasons for both franchises. The kickoff in a moment. Today, our entire CBS crew on hand at Arrowhead Stadium. An unusually warm day here in Kansas City for early October, 75 degrees. Temperature expected to hit maybe 80. You were down on the field earlier, and it was humid.
I just have my jacket on, and I worked up a ladder on the sideline. So these players are frenzied with the crowd right now, the heat on the field. I think it's going to take its effect in the fourth quarter, but for which side, we'll have to wait and see.
Pete Stoyanovich will kick it off for Kansas City. New England has won the toss. Troy Brown and Lamont Warren back deep to receive. On a bounce. This will be Brown from the goal line. Cutting it to the outside. And Troy Brown is brought down just shy of the 30-yard line by Mike Mislowski on special teams. 28-yard return. Drew Bledsoe. Hard to believe he's only 27 years old, only because he's been around for so long. 7 years, and he's been a starter since day one in the NFL.
And he's breaking records, team records. He has NFL records. And the way that he's played this year so far, he's been like a machine at the quarterback position. Every coach I've talked to throughout the NFL, when you talk about who's the hot quarterback, they mention Drew Bledsoe's name.
Bledsoe having an MVP-like season. Just one interception all year. He's thrown 120 straight passes without a pick. And the team will huddle up again before we start play. Our referee, Bob McElwee, here today. And we're set to go. Patriots, the only team in the NFL at 4-0. Wins over the Jets, the Colts, the Giants, and Cleveland. And it is loud early. A sea of red here at Arrowhead. And a flag to open play, something the Chiefs are accustomed to. 13 penalties last week.
Ball start, 63 offense.
But this
5 yards, first down.
Is against New England to start play. Heath Irwin.
And this is what you don't want if you're the offense of the New England Patriots. The first play out of the box, you get one of your offensive linemen jumping. They worked the entire week on silent snap counts in the shotgun position. Maybe they should go back and rethink that on the sidelines and do it when Drew Bledsoe goes under the center, because this crowd is going to get on him hot and early.
So a 1st and 15. On a handoff, Terry Allen getting the start. And he is stacked up by Tom Barnes as we take a look at the starting New England offense. Across the line, Zephros Moss returns to action. Moss has had back problems, but he does start at right tackle for the Patriots. Backs and receivers, Terry Allen in there, starting at running back. Kevin Falk is active today, and Terry Glenn coming off a record-setting game last week for the New England Patriots, setting club marks in receptions with 13 and yards, 214. And that victory over Cleveland after a 2-yard gain and movement again. How difficult is it for an offensive lineman in this kind of environment?
Part of the snap, ball start, 63 offense, 5 yards, second down.
That's 2 on Heath Irwin. He's got to concentrate. It's difficult for the tackles, but the guards are right next to the quarterback. They can hear him. It's strange that right here on this side of the line, there's Heath Irwin. He's got to concentrate on Drew Bledsoe in the snap count and filter everything out of his helmet, but that is uncalled for. You can't have that as an offensive lineman, particularly at the guard position. You're 3 feet from Drew Bledsoe. That just shows you how loud it is on that football.
Troy Brown told us, the receiver of the Patriots, that it doesn't affect the receivers because they can just watch the snap of the ball. Those tackles, though, are effective.
I keep telling you, the hardest position in football is offensive line.
I still don't believe you. On 2nd and 18, Lamont Warren coming out of the backfield and bringing it ahead to the 35-yard line, short of a first down after a 10-yard pickup. Kansas City starting defense, Dan Williams. He is back this year for the Chiefs. He's paying off dividends with 2 sacks this season. Starting linebackers, Marcus Patton, the former Redskin. He has been on a mission this year, and last week had a huge effort in the loss to San Diego. In the secondary, Jerome Woods returns to action after a thigh injury and wrist injury kept him out of that loss to the Chargers. 3 receivers set. Tony Simmons checks in on a 3rd and 3 for Bledsoe. Lobbing it upstairs down the sideline and incomplete. He was looking for Simmons. So the Patriots forced the punt on their first possession.
And what Drew Bledsoe did coming to the line of scrimmage, they won on the quick count. The offensive line gets set, the quarterback comes up to the line of scrimmage, boom, snap the ball. Don't let the crowd get in the game. It's affecting their offense thus far in this game, but that's what they're going to have to do. Silent snap counts, come to the ball, go on the first sound so you can at least get the snap off of the offense.
Lee Johnson has been punting the ball well, but he's got one of the most dangerous return men in the business. Back deep. Left-footed punter. A high punt to Mark Vanover from the 13. Vanover looking to bust one, which he has not done this season, and he will not do it on that play as he comes up short of the 25. A 51-yard punt from Johnson by Elvis Gerback. We spoke with Gunther Cunningham, the head coach of the Chiefs. He told us Gerback tried to do too much last week when he threw 4 interceptions in the loss to San Diego. They dominated the Chargers statistically, yet they still lost that football game. On a 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage is the 23. Rashawn Sheehy trying to take it up the middle, and Chad Eaton was the first man to greet him. Look at the Kansas City starting offense, and on that line, Marcus Spears making his first ever start in the NFL at left tackle, replacing the injured Glenn Parker. Dave Zott back in the lineup after missing 2 consecutive weeks. Rashawn Sheehy, second consecutive start for him. And Derek Alexander in a matchup with his former college teammate Ty Law of New England. Handoff, Sheehy bouncing off a tackle and advancing ahead across the 30-yard line for a gain of 9. Chris Carter and Lawyer Malloy collaborating on the stop. Play some tricks on the Kansas City offense. Brewski, Katzenmoyer, and Slay, the linebackers. And an explosive secondary led by Ty Law and Malloy. Richardson and Bennett in the backfield, and Donnell Bennett trying to move it ahead up the line. Unable to do so. A host of New England tacklers in on the play. Very close to a first down.
Penetration by the New England defense, particularly Henry Thomas got penetration into
Marty Schottenheimer, who is his mentor and a man that he learned a lot of football from in his time spent coaching under him here in Kansas City.
Not only that, after talking to him for 10 minutes yesterday, I wanted to suit up again. I wanted the equipment manager. Where's my helmet? Give me my pads. I'll play for this guy.
Pretty good sign if I'm looking to run through a wall. On first down, Gerback on a rollout, throw, and complete. Tony Gonzalez, the tight end, into New England territory, and a first down for Kansas City. Carter and Malloy combining on the tackle after the 24-yard hookup.
And that's the X factor, the unknown factor, the tight end Tony Gonzalez on the right side of the line, goes through both blockers at the end and finds a seam, gets through McGinnis, he finds a seam, turns to the outside, it's just an out pattern. Gerback rolls out of the pocket, he's open, splits the defense, first down Kansas City Chiefs. The reason why I call him the X factor, everybody looks to the wide receivers, but Gonzalez has the speed to take it the distance and split the seams for this offense.
Last week he had 7 receptions, 1 for a touchdown. Sheehy avoiding the first tackle, but couldn't make much of that run after a pickup of 1. Andy Katzenmoyer making the stop right up the middle. So a 2nd and 9 upcoming for KC.
Now, when you look at this offense, they've got a host of running backs. They use Rashawn Sheehy. He's in his 2nd year here. He had a big week last year against the San Diego Chargers. Then they've got Bam Morris that's back there, and they started the season off with Kimball Anders. He got injured. Tony Richardson runs the ball. Donnell Bennett. I mean, they use everybody in the backfield, but they keep them fresh. But the thing I like about it, they keep pounding the offense and defensive line right at the defense. They just run the ball down the defense's throat.
They came in with a very balanced offense, the same amount of running plays as passing plays. Gerback off of play action. Lonnie Johnson could not bring it in, and Gerback and Johnson had a problem last week in that loss to San Diego in the 4th quarter. Gerback was visibly upset at Lonnie Johnson. That's not the first time that Gerback has voiced his opinion on the field at a player, and that's been one of the questions about Elvis Gerback being the leader of this football team, picking and choosing his spots to criticize his teammates.
And in that situation, as you saw, he said, hey, that's my fault. Tapped his helmet, let everybody know that's my mistake. But in the past, he's criticized teammates at the wrong time. There's times when you can get on guys in the heat of the battle, but after that, you can't finger point. That's not the sign of true leadership in the NFL.
This is a 3rd and 9 from the 45 of New England. On a pitch, Sheehy got some room as he tries to take it to the outside. Not enough for the first down. He crossed the 40-yard line as Kato Sirwanga made the tackle down low. Kansas City fans try to give Gunther Cunningham a message to go for it here in the first quarter. Guess again on a 4th and 3.
And Gunther won't go for this. This is smart football. But on 3rd and long, he runs the football. What he's telling his offense is this: hey, I believe in the run. I'm going to hang the hat on the run. I believe in the offensive line up front. This is the way we're going to build our football team. We don't have to go to the pass. And that takes pressure off the quarterback, Elvis Durback.
Kevin Falk, who has missed the last couple of games with an ankle injury, is back deep to receive this punt from Daniel Pope. Didn't look pretty coming off the foot as it angled towards the sideline. It will drop inside the 20, but certainly not the punt that Pope was hoping for of 20. Kansas City forced to punt the football after they came up shy on the first down attempt, run by Rashawn Sheehy. New England gets it back with a 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 16. A double tight end set with Bledsoe working out of the shotgun. Some movement and flags. No play.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 68, offense. 5 yards, first down.
Max Lane, who now steps in for Heath Irwin, who had problems on the first possession, playing at left guard.
Maybe it's the position. It's definitely not the player now. It's not Heath Irwin's fault. It's the position, because Max Lane jumps on that play. Here's a situation: you're spreading the offense out, empty backfield. You know the defense is coming because obviously you're not going to run the ball. They've got their ears pinned back. They try to jump off and get set early. You can't do it in this stadium. They're going to catch you every time.
Oh, and it adds more fuel to the fire. The fans know that they are having an influence. Here come the Chiefs on a blitz, and Bledsoe forced to throw it away. Kansas City aggressive on a 1st and 15. Derek Thomas came firing into the backfield.
And it's easy pickings for the defense. They know you're going to run the football. Here comes the blitz, patting up the middle. The outside Derek Thomas, no one touches him. Drew Bledsoe gets nailed down the play. They're coming with more blitzers than they had pass protectors. In the NFL now, when you go to the empty backfield, the defense will blitz you 90% of the time because you don't have that extra blocker in the back to chip off some blitzers.
Thomas playing a different position this year.
Yes, he's playing the regular linebacker position. He used to play the Falcon over the tight end. He used to get beat up last year. Now he rolls around as a regular linebacker.
This is a 2nd and 15 from the 11, and Terry Allen trying to squeeze through a hole. Not much doing there as Allen picks up about 3. Kansas City claiming that they jarred the football loose. The officials not buying into it. We spoke with Terry Allen yesterday, and he said whatever his role is, he'll be happy with it. But we actually informed Terry Allen that he
now, but thanks for telling me, guys.
Just trying to do our job.
Sure.
On a 3rd and 12. Shotgun formation for Bledsoe. 4 receivers. Movement on the left side of the Kansas City line as flags come down. Bledsoe didn't see the snap coming, and the play never happens.
Prior to the snap, ball start, 71, offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
You know, Bob McElwee might want to put that on tape and then just insert the number at the end, because we have seen 4 penalties now called on the offensive line.
And that's amazing. The right side right here, the offensive line, you have to stay stationary. When the center brings his head up, that's when you have a 2 count, boom, you get into your stance. You watch the ball as a guard. As a tackle, you have to go on the 2 count. But if you're next to the center, there's no reason in the world you should jump off sides. It should not be a false start by the guards. The tackles, maybe. Guards, never.
3rd down conversions. Ranked 4th in the NFL, but the Chiefs' defense has been very strong. Bledsoe stepping up. Bledsoe in some trouble. Football is loose. Picked up by McLaughlin. Tries to lateral it. Not a wise decision by him, but it doesn't hurt. Fortunately for McLaughlin, Kansas City recovers the fumble.
And Ian, you can talk about that's a great play by the defense, which it was. Great play by the secondary. They covered their men. Relentless rush. The big guy, Chester McLaughlin, keep an eye on him in the middle of the screen. He will not stop. Fights through blockers, goes in the middle, comes back to the outside. Derek Thomas strips the ball, but he stays with the play and comes up with the fumble recovery. But then he tries to get cute here. Wants to make a big play to throw it to Chris Dishman. No. Big guy. Hang on to the ball. Keep your hands on the football.
Football will be spotted at the 7-yard line. Well, you see the turnovers for Kansas City this season here at home, where they are 2-0. They are now +6.
And that's key. They play big at home, and Gunther Cunningham puts an emphasis on, hey, this is our house. No one comes into our house and takes a victory out of us. We've got the fans, we've got the team, and he's a defensive guru. He's going to go after every offensive team that comes into his house.
On a 1st and goal, double tight end set. Bennett by himself in the backfield. He gets the call. Trying to bull his way up the middle, picked up a yard, maybe 2. Chris Slade was the first man to get there, and then the rest of the New England defense came to help.
And that's one thing about this offense. They're not pretty. They're not spectacular when they run the ball, but they just keep coming after play after play after play with a host of running backs, different styles. They keep pounding on the defense, and hopefully in the 4th quarter, they're relentless enough that they won't give up in the 4th quarter. That's when they make their big yardage. In the red area, they've been great this year. They need to score more touchdowns, but they've got 9 scores and 11 attempts in the red area.
Bennett goes to the sideline. It's now Richardson and Sheehy in the backfield. Sheehy, the motion man, on 2nd and goal. Inside handoff. Tony Richardson with a flag down on the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, 88, offense, 5 yards, 2nd down.
Well, we can't blame that one on the crowd.
That's Tony Gonzalez. That should never happen. You could hear a pin drop in here when the offense has the ball, but that's just frustration because he's right now, he's upset. He's saying, hey, that's lack of concentration on my fault. I'm frustrated right now. Sorry, guys. Took us out of field position, but they're still in the red area. This is where they have to bear down. I think this is the area where they go back to their tight end. Tony Gonzalez has been great the last 2 games. He's had his best ever in the NFL. He's had 14 receptions, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks.
2nd and goal from the 11. Bennett in the backfield. Alexander, the motion man. Gerback in the pocket. Has time. Set it up with a little dump off for Bennett. And not much there. Teddy Bruschi making the stop for New England, and they actually lost a yard on the play. So neither offense moving in the right direction right now.
You have to tip your hat to the defensive secondary of the New England Patriots. They had everyone covered from the Kansas City offense. Good protection by the offensive line. Quarterback Gerback, he's looking to his left, looking to the middle, goes to his 3rd outlet. His running back on the right side just dumps the ball off to try to pick up positive yardage, and he does.
Now a 3rd and goal from the 12. Once again, Bennett in the backfield, spread formation, 4 receivers. Gerback a quick throw, and a catch made by Kevin Lockett, but not nearly enough, as they had to get to the end zone. Instead, they will settle for 3 as Pete Stoyanovich comes onto the field. Kansas City with a chance to take the lead, but what a golden opportunity to put 7 on the board after the field position they started with following the turnover.
And that may come back to haunt this football team throughout the course of the game. You never get opportunities like that when you get the ball in the red area. That should be an easy 7 points. Pound the ball in, get it in the end zone. And for the defense of the New England Patriots, they're saying, hey, we held them. It's great for the defense. They've had 8 people in the red area. They've given up 7 touchdowns. This is the second time they've held a team.
Stoyanovich bangs it through for a 22-yard field goal. The first field goal converted against the Patriots so far this season. And it's been 2 consecutive losses here at Arrowhead, which opened back in 1971, one of the great environments of the NFL with just about 80,000 fans on hand.
How many of those players on that field do you think were born in 1965?
Good point. How many announcers?
1 in the booth. I can say that I am old.
Just a reminder.
With my playing career, Ryan, the older I am,
yeah,
the better I was.
If you're keeping score at home. Pete Stoyanovich will kick it off for Kansas City. Chiefs lead it 3-0 with Lamont Warren and Kevin Falk. Now deep for the Patriots. Stoyanovich, a short kick. Falk from the 5. Kevin Falk, the rookie, tripped at the 20-yard line. And Jerron Bolden will be given credit for the tackle for Kansas City. A 17-yard return, 10 for New England. Changes on the offensive line. Irwin at left guard. Max Lane shifts over to right guard. And a handoff for Terry Allen. The Patriots have been unable to get the football going via the run, as Dan Williams made the tackle. One thing we have seen, a trend for New England, Mark, has been first halves and first quarters in particular. They're always playing from behind. They trail 3-0 here, and look at that first quarter so far this season. This is a team that's undefeated. They're 4-0.
But they come back in the second half, particularly the 3rd quarter, and that's the most important quarter. When a coach gets us at halftime, we're going to make our changes now. We come out in the 3rd quarter, let's make a statement the first series. They've been able to do that in the second half of their games.
Carter and Allen in the backfield with Terry Glenn in motion. On a pitch for Allen. And flags come flying down.
Prior to the snap, false start, 63, offense. 5 yards, second down.
See a theme here?
Particularly the offensive line.
Right now, let's get an NFL Today report as we head to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Ian, this is
Our score here, Kansas City 3, New England nothing. Patriots have the football on a 2nd and 13. Bledsoe on a dump off, setting up the screen. Terry Allen cutting it to the outside and getting across the 30-yard line. Right at the first down marker, a 13-yard gain. That's what they needed. We'll see where they spot the football.
And that was an excellent call by offensive coordinator Ernie Zampese. He knows the defense of Kansas City. They've got their ears pinned back. They're going to rush the quarterback. Smart call. Let the defense get the rush, get close to the quarterback through Bledsoe. He just turns and dumps the ball off on the screen. Excellent call for the offensive New England Patriots.
It is enough for the first down, and we spoke with Terry Allen, who has played in some explosive offenses. He told us this has the potential to be the best offense he's ever played in during his long career in the NFL. On a 1st and 10, Bledsoe. Great fake, looking sideline. Sean Jefferson was open, but Bledsoe could not make the connection. Defended one-on-one by Chris Dishman. Incomplete.
Drew Bledsoe gets nailed at the end of this play, but Sean Jefferson beat his man like a drum down the field. He had Chris Dishman beat deep, but here the protection, it's a fake right, it's a dash right. They fake the ball to the back, going to the left. He rolls out to the right. He has time, but gets nailed right there at the end of the play. That's big Chester McLaughlin. That's his 21st quarterback pressure. He hasn't had sacks this year, but he's been around the quarterback all day. Here's Sean Jefferson. He prevented this reception just by his pressure on Drew Bledsoe because Jefferson had Dishman beat for the touchdown.
And McLaughlin has been performing well this season, unlike a year ago. Inside, Terry Allen tried to sidestep a couple of tacklers as he got to the interior for a pickup of 2. It'll be 3rd and 8.
Not yet, but I like him close to the goal line. When he gets around the end zone, he can score touchdowns.
And there's Allen coming out of the backfield for a big gainer. Drew Bledsoe finds him in stride as he gets into Kansas City territory at the 42-yard line. A 24-yard pass play as Jerome Woods, the free safety, is forced to make the stop.
And that's what a veteran running back does for your offense. Knows how to pass protect. He slips out of the backfield. One-on-one with Derek Tufts. He's got him beat on the inside hit. That's all he did. A little curl out of the backfield. He's behind the linebackers in front of the safeties. Nice job by Terry Allen catching the ball. Everyone talks about his touchdown scoring, but he's got great hands out of the backfield.
And Bledsoe has completed passes this season to 12 different receivers. That is certainly balancing the offensive attack. On a give for Lamont Warren. Trying to establish that inside, and Kansas City will have none of it. A 2-yard pickup. Donnie Edwards, the outstanding outside linebacker for the Chiefs, making the tackle. Now a 2nd and 8 for New England.
These Kansas City Chiefs, they've moved all the other side, but as a group, they've gotten it together. Talking to Gunther Cunningham, he said, well, at least they know how to line up now, so they're really getting after the quarterback.
Now we see Kevin Falk on the field. And a pitch. They'll try a reverse and a fumble. Terry Glenn could not bring it in cleanly, but he did smother the football. It'll be a big loss on the play.
That's a dangerous call against a penetrating football defense. Every move this defensive front makes is upfield at the quarterback, and for them to try to run a reverse, that's a dangerous play. Look at Leslie O'Neal in the backfield, Dan Williams in the backfield. They're all the way in the backfield. Even if he holds on to that ball, it's a 9-yard loss. That's going to be a loss for the offense. But that's just penetrating defense on the New England Patriot offense.
Now a 3rd and 17. Tony Simmons checks in for New England as a 3rd receiver. Crowd is vocal as usual. Motion man Jefferson. Out of the gun. Bledsoe looking long. Fires and complete. Terry Glenn. Touchdown. New England. A 49-yard strike, and James Hasty was beat on the play.
And that is a big play for the New England offense.
Extra point. Adam Vinatieri. Elite Kansas City. 7-3. Pats kick it off. Vanover the deep man. Kamar Vanover. Berglund. And upended at the 25-yard line. Marty Moore, the first man there on special teams. Terry Glenn. It's 1974 in Pete Carroll's club with the early 7-3 lead here in the first quarter. Kansas City has the football, a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Alexander and Risen are the receivers. Hand off to Sheehy, breaking a tackle and remaining on his feet as he's got a first down run across the 35-yard line. 13-yard gain.
This Kansas City defense built on cornerbacks that can press, but right here, James Hasty, he gives too much cushion to his running, to the wide receiver Terry Glenn, and he just beats him deep for the touchdown. You've got to get your hands on him. You've got to get in your mustache. He never puts a glove on him the entire play, and it's easy pickings for wide receiver Terry Glenn. An outside fake, go back to the inside, 6 points, New England Patriots.
And Troy Brown of the Patriots told us they were going to look to take advantage of Hasty here today. They have so far. Gerback throwing underneath the coverage, and the catch made by Alexander. He is called down right around the 45-yard line of New England, a 16-yard gain.
And Derek Alexander on the outside goes into motion, makes his plant in his hip. He's going to take off upfield. Watch the break inside. Right there, he gets a little push off on the defender, Ty Law. That's what opens up the play. That push off, separation between the play, reception, Derek Alexander.
Alexander and Ty Law, they went head-to-head in practice at the University of Michigan many years ago. Hand off to Bam Morris as Gunther Cunningham continues to rotate running backs. We'll see Sheehy, we'll see Morris, we'll see Donnell Bennett and Tony Richardson getting carries here today as time winds down here in the first with New England in front. Cunningham hasn't been thrilled with Bam.
The more we play him, he'll get in better shape.
Off of play action, Gerback throwing the long ball, and nobody home. That will be the final play of the first quarter, with New England leading Kansas City 7-3. Will return to Arrowhead Stadium right after New England leading the Chiefs, and KC facing a 3rd and 9 at the 45-yard line. 3-receiver look. Joe Horn, the 3rd receiver for the Chiefs. Gerback throwing the slant, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Kevin Lockett. Lockett and Horn have been seeing a lot more time of late, which leads to Daniel Pope, rookie out of Alabama, will punt it away for KC. Kevin Falk is deep, standing at his own 10-yard line for New England. Trying to angle it for the sideline. He went down, and a flag goes down as the ball bounced into the end zone, but we're going to hear from the officials. Rod Rutledge came firing in and made contact with Pope. Bob McElwee will sort this one out.
To realize, forget that play. As a young player, forget about it. They made the decision, move on.
1st and 10 from the 20 following the touchback. Kevin Falk is in the backfield, but Bledsoe will throw it. Firing and connecting to Rod Rutledge, the 2nd tight end. And storyline that developed last week. Ben Coates was shut out a week ago against Cleveland. Talked to Pete Carroll about that. He said it was just the game plan. Terry Glenn was getting all sorts of good looks on the sidelines, but already here today we have yet to see Coates involved in the offense. On a 2nd and 2 following the 8-yard pickup. This is Falk looking for a hole, and it never developed. Marcus Patton, such an impressive player that will play sideline to sideline, and former teammate of his, Terry Allens in Washington, told us that in 4 years he never saw Patton actually leave the field. He was on every play.
And he's a great linebacker in the middle. Just knocks around Damian Wood in the rookie center. When we talked to Marcus the other day, he said, I love this defense, one, because they're physical, they're aggressive. It's not like the Redskins, and I'm not in a system where I feel I have to make every tackle. I had 192 last year. I can count on my other teammates to make tackles on this defense.
9 tackles and 2 sacks last week. Bledsoe throwing and incomplete. It was Jefferson in the vicinity. Also Coates as well. But Jefferson was the intended receiver. And New England will punt.
And New England's not a dominant running football team. And even in that situation, it's 3rd and 3 yards to go. That's a situation, if you got a good running back and you believe in your running team, you run the football. Obviously, they didn't in the game.
They are currently ranked 21st in the league running the football, under 100 yards per game. The punt from Johnson. Vanover from the 23. Tried that 2nd effort and nowhere to run. Tony Simmons wrapped him up after the 49-yard punt. No return for Vanover. Chiefs were embarrassed by the Patriots 40-10. That started a 6-game slide for the Chiefs. They never recovered from that loss, and the Kansas City players talked about that. It's on their mind here today as Tony Richardson gets the call on 1st down. Chris Sullivan making the tackle out near the sideline. After a modest pickup on 1st down, Cunningham's defense They were humiliated, giving up 40 points and 3 touchdowns to Drew Bledsoe. Basically a year ago to the day. It was October 11th of '98.
And you can believe that's in the back of that man's mind. He's not forgotten that. But what he really needs on first down for his offense to get 4 or 5 yards so they can go to the play action pass. That's what they're best at.
Bam Morris goes in motion. Handoff. Richardson trying to break free, but New England sniffed it out. Andy Katzenmoyer, who seems to be improving with each game he gets under his belt here at the professional level.
Talking to Pete Carroll, he said he wanted more consistency out of Andy Katzenmoyer. He gets it right here. A blitz right up the middle. No one touches him. He did a great job of timing this, where he went right behind the offensive line after their takeoff. And he gets.
Last week had 7 tackles, and he's beginning to get more comfortable and more consistent. And the help of Ted Johnson as well, who has been injured, acting as almost an assistant coach. Sideline throw, juggled by Horn, incomplete. He was defended by Steve Israel on the sideline. And Kansas City will punt.
This is almost a beautiful play by Joe Horn. Great coverage in the defensive secondary by Steve Israel. He's right on his shoulders. They're both battling for the ball. He hasn't hit his shoulders. That should be a reception by Joe Horn, but it's not the quarterback's fault. Right here, Willie McGinnis right in the face of Elvis Gerback.
And some in the New England area actually believe that Steve Israel has outplayed Ty Law this season. That's how good a year Israel is having.
That's outstanding. And here's a player that everyone said potential. Well, he's showing his potential now.
Flags come down on the Daniel Pope punt. Kevin Falk unable to. Gary Ellison in the backfield as Bledsoe looks to throw, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Donnie Edwards. Donnie Edwards remaining on his feet and brought down shy of the 30-yard line. Drew Bledsoe's first interception since week 1 of the regular season. He had thrown better than 120 passes without a pick. That one was telegraphed.
And it definitely was, and he never looked off on this play. He looked straight down the defense. Donnie Edwards does a great job, gets his hands on Ben Coates and goes to his zone, reaches up, intercepts the football, and here's the return. Donnie Edwards has 4.5 speed at the linebacker position, but he plays it smart, puts both hands on the ball when he's about to get nailed at the end of the play, but that's a smart interception. And Drew Bledsoe tries to make the tackle, boom, gets taken out of the play, off the field of play, almost into the first row seats.
And a 15-yard return for Edwards and great field position for the Chiefs. 1st and 10 at the New England 33. Second turnover. They scored their only 3 points of the game off of the first turnover. And flags are down.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65, offense, 5 yards, first down.
That's Jeff Smith, the starting left guard.
I'd like to find out how many false starts is the NFL record for offensive linemen. It's got to be about 8 or 9, and we're closely approaching that number. I think we're at 5 now. We're at 7 now.
Cannot blame the noise when Kansas City has the football. These fans know exactly when to temper their emotion and allow Elvis Gerback to call the plays. Donnell Bennett in the backfield, Gonzalez the motion man on a 1st and 15 and a deep drop trying to set up the screen, and New England was ready for it. Andy Katzenmoyer smothering Bennett, and a loss on the play.
And that's Andy Katzenmoyer. There he is. There's his eyes looking at the quarterback. He's reading the play. As soon as he's back to back, go to the football. He reads this play beautifully. Nice play by the rookie, Andy Katzenmoyer.
Neither offense has been in sync so far, other than that one long pass through Bledsoe to Terry Glenn, and that's the difference in the game. A 7-3 Patriots lead as we cross the 11-minute mark of the second quarter. On 2nd and 18, Gerback. Incomplete. Derek Alexander couldn't haul it in. Pass may have been a little bit high. And that matchup with Wolverine alum Ty Law.
It's a nice move of planning and coming back for the football by Alexander. He's open, but the ball's too high. It's thrown over his opposite shoulder. He doesn't have a chance for that reception.
You know, you've got Ty Law in this secondary. You have Lawyer Malloy. If New England could go out and maybe draft a Joe Attorney or a Phil Judge, got a whole courtroom working. 3-receiver look on a 3rd and 18. Kansas City has been unable to move the football. Gerback Underneath sliding catch, Andre Rison, but Chiefs needed a lot of yardage for a first down. They get only 6. And the fans booing a bit. Gerback has heard that before in the past. He came in as a free agent from San Francisco, and everybody had such high hopes for Elvis Gerback. He's shown flashes, but in terms of consistency, it hasn't been there.
It just hasn't been there, and he hasn't been able to do what's needed to be done in San Francisco or Kansas City. And what they did this year is they changed the offense for him. We're going to run the football. We're going to pound it. We're going to take the pressure off of Elvis Gerback, put him in situations where it's 3rd and short rather than 3rd and long of last year, and he should succeed in this offense. But when they have to count on him, he hasn't gotten the job done.
Daniel Pope, a high punt, spiraling inside the 20. We'll see where they spot it, though, because it may have floated out of bounds before it even got to the 20-yard line. Looks like the 21. That's been fairly uneventful offensively. Other than the touchdown strike, Bledsoe to Glenn. Handoff, Chris Floyd on the inside. And he is stacked up by Dan Williams and Tom Bart. New England offensively, they've been used to putting up big numbers. This year, 384 total yards per game as we track what they've done over the last couple of years. So far today, Mark, 113 total yards. They lead on the scoreboard. Kansas City has been able to muster up only 77.
And they rely on their defense. The defense hasn't gotten the job done, but that one big play in New England really is a bunch of their yards.
Play fake. Tony Carter, the fullback, releasing out of the backfield and comes up shy of the first down as Donnie Edwards twirled him out of bounds. A pickup of 5. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Right. Going back to New England's offensive production this year, it's Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, and it's always the second year in his system where quarterbacks really flourish, and Drew Bledsoe is having it.
His return is questionable right now. 4 receivers on a 3rd and 4. Coates in motion. Bledsoe on a quick throw and a slant. Catch is made and a first down for Tony Simmons. Got across the 40-yard line for a 14-yard pass play.
Never forget Ben Coates as a tight end, one of the best in the business.
Off the bootleg play action. Bledsoe slings the deep ball. Jefferson was open. Incomplete. All right, now let's get an NFL Today report. 7-3, New England leading Kansas City. On a 2nd and 10 for the Patriots from the 41. On a give for Allen. And again, New England unable to establish the run. A 3-yard pickup up the middle as Jerome Woods made the stop.
The offense of New England is really keeping this defense of Kansas City off balance. They're not afraid to throw the ball vertically. They've gone deep a few times in this game, had the big touchdown reception to Terry Glenn, but they've thrown deep to Sean Jefferson a few times to keep this defense honest so they can't pin their ears back the entire day and come after quarterback Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe is the top-rated passer in the AFC, and Ernie Zampese may have a lot to do with that. Great reputation around the NFL. On a 3rd and 7. Bledsoe throwing a timing pattern, and it's incomplete. James Hasty was able to get a piece of it as Bledsoe was trying to make the connection with Terry Glenn. So the Patriots will punt.
And that's perfect coverage, Aaron. When you talk about one-on-one coverage, that is absolutely perfect by James Hasty. Had Terry Glenn one-on-one, makes his break and puts his hand in front of the slant pattern right at the last second to knock the ball away. Beautiful coverage.
Now the 3rd punt for Lee Johnson to Mark Vanover. Sprinting towards the sidelines, but this one will bounce out of bounds right around the 18-yard line, and that's where Kansas City will have it. Tonight on the season.
And I believe in that. As an ex-offensive lineman, I love to run the football, but there are times in the game you've got to take your shots down the field to play and get the respect of the defense so they cannot continue to have 8 men in the box to stop your run.
The hip injury to Sheehy means Morris is on the field. Play action. Gerback throwing and complete. At the 35-yard line, Kevin Lockett brings it in. And Elvis Gerback, maybe his best pass of the day.
Now, did you see what I just said? You heard what I just said. Elvis heard what I said. You go down the field to play on first down, throw a little slant pattern to Lockett, boom, first down.
There's no quarterback controversy here in Kansas City just yet. Last year there was one with Gerback and Rich Gannon, who is now succeeding in Oakland, but Warren Moon is waiting in the wings.
And a lot of fans here locally are calling for the great one, Warren Moon, to play.
Off of play action again. Gerback will take the hit, and a sack from Chad Eaton back at the 23-yard line. Gerback took a little too much time, and it cost him.
And the first look for a quarterback off play action, get rid of the ball. It's difficult for the offensive lineman to protect up front because they're going to fire out first and then come back and pass protect. And right here, Gerback's looking downfield. Throw the ball right now. Get rid of it. He hesitates. He who hesitates is lost. And right there, Chad Eaton. Nice pass rush. Gets to the quarterback for the sack.
First sack of the day for the New England defense. Last week, Bruschi, Malloy, McGinnis, and Brandon Mitchell each had sacks in their victory over the Browns. And now a 2nd and 19. Gerback moving pocket on the rollout and able to find the open man, Gonzalez, on the sideline. Was he out of bounds is the question. It is ruled incomplete. Gonzalez did not have both feet in.
Tony Gonzalez does so many things for this offense. Can block the line of scrimmage, go in motion and block, go deep with the ball, split safeties down the middle of the field. And his quarterback's in trouble here. He runs towards the sidelines, tries to find a pocket for the quarterback to get in the ball. He just throws in the ball one step too late.
So a 3rd and 19. Gonzalez remains on the field. A dime package for New England. Donnell Bennett in the backfield. 4-receiver set. Gerback lofting it in the air and has it intercepted. Lawyer Malloy. He is spun down at the 41-yard line. Second interception of the season for Malloy. And for Elvis Gerback, after throwing 4 interceptions last week, that's the first pick here today.
And this is just a bad pass. Double coverage right there. Here comes the safety to protect over his shoulders. No way he should throw that ball. He can read who's behind Tony Gonzalez. He's one-on-one right now in the open field. Right there, right behind him is Lawyer Malloy to pick the ball off. He knows the safeties are going to rotate, particularly in the middle of the field. That's just what Malloy did. Interception, New England Patriots.
Maybe I spoke too soon on that quarterback controversy. So New England gets the football back from the 42. Bledsoe throwing and incomplete. Kevin Falk got a hand on it, but it will be 2nd and 10 as Eric Hicks was providing the penetration in the backfield.
One thing I like about Drew Bledsoe in the pocket now, before he'd have happy feet. Whenever he got pressured, he'd start to skittle to the right, skittle to the left, move his feet, try to get out of the pocket because he knew he was going to get hit. Now he stands in there, takes the hit, and with that, he's making better progression as a quarterback, but he's able to throw the ball downfield farther.
But that's maturity. It has to be. Early in your career, if you're a young quarterback in the NFL, you're going to hear footsteps.
I've never been a young quarterback in my life, so.
And a handoff for Kevin Falk, trying to dance his way ahead as he spins to the 44-yard line. A pickup of 2. Donnie Edwards will be given credit for the tackle for Kansas City. Setting up a 3rd and 8 for New England as the clock continues to roll, and we come up on 6 minutes to play in the first half.
Donnie Edwards, he's a guy that they've counted on this defense. They've moved him around a little bit, inside to outside. And you look at this defense for Gunther Cunningham, he moves people around, but there are a lot of people, we'll get into this later, that they're kind of rejects from other teams, or they were too small to play, and he's made players out of them. We'll talk about that later.
On a 3rd and 8 from the 44. 4-receiver. Bledsoe in the pocket, has time, throwing, and a first down catch is made in some traffic. Terry Glenn brings it in for an 11-yard. One goes to the sideline. Tony Carter and Lamont Warren are in the backfield. Simmons in motion. Off of play action. Bledsoe on a rollout, trying to set up the deep ball. He'll throw it to the end zone. One-on-one coverage, but Jefferson cannot haul it in. He was with Reggie Tongue, the strong safety. Incomplete.
I'll tell you what. Before this game started, I saw the New England Patriot owner, Robert Kraft, on the sidelines. He goes, Mark, because they're afraid you may tell the opposite team. But, hey, Robert Kraft goes, we're going deep with the football today, Mark. He's right.
On a 2nd and 10. Bledsoe, short drop and a quick throw as he made the connection on the slant to Tony Simmons. About a 7-yard gain on 2nd down. It'll be 3rd and 3 coming up. Sideline replaced by Derek Ransom. This is a 3rd and 3 from the 38. Bledsoe throwing and complete. It's Tony Simmons. Inside has had success throwing the football, not running it. They'll stick with the air. Bledsoe is brought down. Derek Ransom back at the 36-yard line. Got a loss of 8 on the play.
That's his first career sack, and that's what you call a coverage sack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 seconds or so. Great protection. He's looking at his first. His second receiver, he can't get the ball to him. That's a coverage sack because the defense does an outstanding job. Everybody stays with their receivers. Everybody, a jersey on a jersey, a red jersey on a white jersey, in every place on the football field. That caused the sack.
So Ransom seeing action because of the injury to Dan Williams. And he collects on his first career sack. Warren in the backfield in motion. On a 2nd and 19, Bledsoe stepping up and throws to Chris Floyd. As he sidesteps one tackler, advances the football to the 31-yard line. Patton and Tongue combine on the tackle. Under 3 minutes to play now in the second quarter. Pickup of about 5.5. It'll be 3rd and 14.
It's so impressive to watch Drew Bledsoe. He gets nailed on the play before he gets sacked, sits back in the pocket, he gets pressure, just turns, he's cool as a cucumber, and just drops the ball off to his running back, looks at 2 or 3 different receivers. He knows the entire offense at the back of his hand.
This is all you need to know about Bledsoe this year. He's on pace for a 5,000-yard passing season. Bledsoe out of the shotgun. Pass and a catch. Tony Simmons looking for the first down marker, and he's got it. Terrific job by Simmons to avoid the tackle of Chris Dishman and then move ahead for a NASDAQ halftime report. On a 1st and 10 for New England, looking to increase their lead from the 17. This is the 10th play of the drive. Jefferson in motion. On a handoff for Terry Allen. Fumbles the football. Kansas City's got it. Marcus Patton recovers. Jerome Woods knocked it loose. And the New England Patriots with a chance to put more points on the board. Instead, Kansas City takes over.
Terry Allen makes a great cutback in front of his old teammate Marcus Patton, trying to make something happen, but the ball gets knocked loose by Jerome Woods. But Marcus Patton, his ex-teammate, comes up with a play. Just trying to make something else happen on this play to get extra yardage, but he gets nailed by Jerome Woods. Tremendous leverage, head right on the football and knocks it out of him.
And the 3rd turnover for New England. They have outplayed Kansas City here in this first half, but the scoreboard doesn't exactly tell the story. They do lead it, though, 7-3. Donnell Bennett, big running back, trying to spin ahead to the 20-yard line. Back at his fullback position after playing tailback last year for Kansas City. Malloy and Wiggum combining on the tackle. Injury update for the Chiefs. Dan Williams, a sprained groin. His return is a question mark right now. Clock is moving, 1.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. After the 2-yard pickup, sideline throw, and Gerback unable to find Derek Alexander. The NASDAQ halftime.
He's got to get some completions under his belt.
Staying healthy has been the toughest part for Gerback since signing as a free agent. There's a throw by Gerback and a catch made by Joe Horn down the sideline and brought out of bounds in New England territory by Kato Serwanga. A 31-yard play, a flag down.
Holding, number 25, defense, penalty is declined, first down.
Larry Wiggum the hold, it doesn't matter. Kansas City with a big play.
A nice route by Joe Horn on the outside. One-on-one, going down the football field. Plants, turns, comes back to the outside, not the inside. That's where the play's made. He made the hit to the inside, came back to the outside, but then it's the run after catch, picking up additional yardage for the Kansas City offense.
He is a speedster, Joe Horn, who ran the 100-yard dash in 10.39. Gerback on a 1st and 10. On a slant. And Derek Alexander is still down just shy of the 40-yard line. 8 yards on the play and a 2nd and 2. Ty Law was the man that cut him down low. We hit 1 minute to play, second quarter. Gerback finds Tony Gonzalez. He lost the football. Tony Gonzalez coughed it up, and Lawyer Malloy able to get on top of it. And Gonzalez injured on the play.
Tony Gonzalez on the play, catches the football, boom, it's just knocked out of there. A vicious hit on the outside. Comes back, tries to get his fumble, but Laura Malloy is on top of the ball.
Kato Sirwanga made the hit.
Wanga, that was a heck of a hit.
Looked like the helmet to Gonzalez's knee, possibly. So New England now with a chance to maybe move down the field. Final stages, second quarter, as Tony Simmons brings it in at the 39-yard line. Got an 8-yard gain on first down. 43 seconds now remain. The NASDAQ halftime report. Join the gang back in New York. Jim, Craig, Randy, and Jerry. Scores and highlights. Week 5 in the NFL and the Dolphins-Colts preview. That's the big game coming up in the second half of our doubleheader here on CBS. Greg Gumbel and Phil Simms on hand to call that one. The NASDAQ halftime report. We'll call it second and short. Bledsoe out of the gun. Quick throw. It's incomplete. Simmons is spun down by Warfield, who returns despite the bruised knee that he suffered on the last drive. It'll be 3rd and 1.
It's pressure time right now by the Kansas City defense. Put pressure on Drew Bledsoe to come up with a big play on 3rd and short. Here's where you hate it as an offensive player, because you know less than a minute, you know they're going to come with the heat. You've got to protect your quarterback, and basically we're probably going to throw the football, and everybody knows it.
Timeouts, both teams with 3 apiece. Just 40 seconds left. Taking it up the middle, Drew Bledsoe on a keeper, looking for the first down. And they take a timeout. Looks to be enough for a new set of downs. And a stoppage here in Kansas City. 7-3, Pats.
Gimme a head with hair, long beautiful hair, shining green.
A first down for Pete Carroll's team with his club in front, 7-3. 37 seconds left in the second quarter. Didn't really know what to expect here with Kansas City, a tough team to figure out. They're 2-2, very good at home, undefeated here, and they've played so well throughout the decade of the 90s. But I don't know if they really have an identity just yet.
And they haven't found their identity. That's the key. At home, they can win at home. They're +5 turnovers at home, -1 on the road. But they've got to find a way to win on the road. They don't know if they're a running team. They're trying to run the football, but they've got to find a way to put more points on the board.
New England trying to improve to 5-0 on the season. Bledsoe, plenty of time in the pocket, throwing the deep ball. Had a man wide open down the sideline. Sean Jefferson incomplete. There's that scouting by Bob Kraft again.
Going deep with the football. He told me before the game, when I talked to him before the game. But Sean Jefferson, he's a guy with speed that'll stretch the defense. A little hint to the outside and just take off. Now another little hit, and Chris Dish's going, whoa, where is he? He's gone. Off to the races. If he gets the ball there, that's a big completion for the offense.
That is a pretty stop and go, and Bledsoe knew it after he released the football. He had Jefferson wide open for 6. Now a 2nd and 10 for New England. 31 seconds left. First half, Patriots have 2 timeouts remaining. From the 41, flag comes down and the play never happens. A lot of flags early in this game.
Prior to the snap, 78 offense. False start. 5 yards, second down.
Looks like they're going to try to get a false start on every member of the Patriots offensive line. Now Bruce Armstrong gets in on the act. 6 penalties right now for New England, 2 called on Kansas City.
Everybody's contributing, and this is something that you don't want them to contribute to as an offensive line. Everybody having a false start, but hey, that guy right there, Bruce Armstrong's having a heck of a day against Derek Thomas on the outside one-on-one, and then they bring Leslie O'Neal on nickel situation. He's doing a great job battling Thomas.
2nd and 15. Here come the Chiefs on a blitz. Good protection. Bledsoe throwing underneath the coverage. It's Terry Glenn into Kansas City territory at the 45-yard line. 19 yards through the air, and a timeout taken by the Patriots.
And the reason why Drew Bledsoe could sit in the pocket is because of the big guys up front. Bruce Armstrong kicks back off the ball, right hand, left hand, little pat there. Then he comes back with a crossover, gets the grab on him in the clinch. There's no way Derek Thompson's going to get off that big guy in the clinch. Great job by Bruce Armstrong protecting his quarterback.
Wait, so when some of the older guys tell them, oh yeah, Mark May, Pro Bowler, offensive lineman, yeah, him?
No way, not him.
Figured, you were a speedy wideout. Bledsoe firing. He had to. He was under heavy heat, and he threw the ball away as Marcus Patton came in to lay a lick on Drew Bledsoe.
Chiefs defense just sold out right in the middle of the field. Marcus Patton, double blow, blitz up the middle. You see the two blitzers coming from off the ball. He just runs right over the blocker, Jerry Ellison, and gets in Drew Bledsoe's face.
I hope fans understand, we're not mispronouncing Marcus's name. There is a V in there. It's Marcus Patton.
Except his mother calls him Marcus, unless she's mad at him, then she'll call him Marcus.
That's the only time. On a 2nd and 10 from the 45, bad snap. Bledsoe just trying to cover up, and he does. Back at the 45-yard line, they'll lose 10 yards on the play. Damian Woody, the center for New England. Keep in mind, he's a rookie, a first-round pick. He has played very well. Not an easy position to break into in the NFL in your first year.
And that's a bad snap to Drew Bledsoe's right. We had New England last week against Cleveland. He had a bad snap out of the shotgun formation last week, and that was way to his right. That's something they've got to work on, particularly in a hostile environment, but they love Damian Woody.
That will do it. End of the first half here in Kansas City. With a score, New England 7 and the Chiefs 3. Time is run out here, but it looks like they might put some time on the clock. New England did have one timeout remaining. The clock expired here on the field. And it looks like Bob McElwee will put the 3 seconds. Jones there. You say no.
I don't know. It's the glasses. It's the glasses. If he had the darker glasses, maybe.
7 defensive backs for Kansas City. Shotgun. Bledsoe stepping up. Bledsoe on the run. He'll throw the ball deep towards the end zone. Knocked up in the air and incomplete. Terry Glenn had one last gasp at it as it fell down to the turf. That'll do it for the first half. The NASDAQ halftime report is coming up after this word from your local station. Back to Kansas City, Ian Eagle along with Mark May and running the football. We thought that would be a theme coming into the game. Kansas City talked about it at great length. New England wanted to establish the run. We haven't seen it. Anything close to it, in fact.
Not at all. They just haven't gotten the job done offensively up front with their offensive line and picking up the blitzers from each team. Each team defensively decided to attack the line of scrimmage, and that's where it all falls, in the trenches for both offensive lines.
And if this game comes down to passing, advantage New England. Drew Bledsoe is hot.
Big time, and he's not afraid to stretch the defense. In this game, he's gone long at least 7 or 8 times to keep their defense honest, but the key is when he went long big time, Terry Glenn, touchdown, that's the key factor in this game.
And the Kansas City defense has been there. They have provided the KC offense with opportunities, but the offense has been unable to cash in. You see the turnovers. New England has turned it over 3 times, but the Chiefs could only come up with 3 points off of those turnovers. Time of possession, it's been New England. Rushing yards, 18 for the Patriots and 32 for the Chiefs. Looking at a combined 50 yards.
And that's surprising, particularly with the Kansas City offense. Gunther Cunningham put a major emphasis when he got the head coaching job here. Said, hey, we're going to run the football. No matter what, we're going to run the football. They just haven't gotten the job done rushing the football, the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's put pressure on their quarterback, Elvis Grbac. Once they can run the ball efficiently on first down, he'll be a better quarterback in the second half.
Also a hip contusion for Rashawn Sheehy, so we did not see him throughout the first half. Happened in the second quarter. His return is questionable as Tamarick Vanover will return it for KC. Adam Vinatieri On a kickoff for the Patriots, who have a 7-3 lead as we start play here in the third. Here is Vanover from the 4. Vanover got bounced around a bit and shoved back to the 20-yard line by Chris Floyd and company. A 19-yard return. First half possessions for the Chiefs, the 1 field goal and a bunch of punts and turnovers.
And what hurts the team is they haven't been able to have sustained drives. You need to move the chains and get first downs. And Kansas City hasn't. They've been stuffed on first down runs. They had to go back to the passing game, and they haven't been able to convert on 2nd and 3rd and long.
With the injury to Sheehy, Gunther Cunningham sends Bam Morris to the field. He's in the backfield with Tony Richardson. 1st and 10 from the 24. Here is Morris as a bruising running style. We have not seen it here today. A host of New England tacklers were ready on that play. No gain. Morris has had hamstring problems. He has been known as a powerful inside runner. Success in Pittsburgh and Baltimore. But he has had some problems off the field as well, including drugs. And Bam Morris trying to clean up his life and his career. Great opportunity here in Kansas City. Double tight end set. Gonzalez and Johnson. Bennett in the backfield. Another big running back for Kansas City. Here come the Patriots trying to penetrate, but Bennett able to sidestep. Donnell Bennett finally brought down as he crosses the 35-yard line and a 12-yard run. First down for KC.
And they go to the old power old running play. They pull Dave Zott, the left guard, to the right. Watch, he's going to pull over here and clear out and get a great block. The old guy, Dave Zott, he's finally healthy again after knee surgery. Right there, cleans up on Teddy Bruschi. That allows the running back, Donnell Bennett, to pick up the extra yard. Going through hard. I love that kind of running. Just power football between the trenches.
Donnell Bennett was the starting tailback last year for a good majority of the season. Now playing fullback. It is Bennett turning the corner, not looking like a fullback on that play. A stiff arm as he's brought down and shoved out of bounds at the 48-yard line by Ty Law. A 12-yard scamper for Donnell Bennett.
You're right, Ian. He did not look like a fullback. Behind him, watch Willie McGinnis, 55. Try to chase him down. He thinks he's got the big guy. He's running hard. He's running hard. He can't catch him. He turns the corner and picks up positive yardage.
Kind of had that Keith Byers look to him, those short strides.
Try to get him. I can get him. I can get him. No, you can't.
Almost looks like he's running in place at times, but it's been effective as Bam Morris comes in. Consecutive 12-yard runs for Donnell Bennett. First time they've really established the run here this afternoon. A handoff for Morris. Getting through a hole, and Bam Morris trying to break to the open field. He's got a first down for Kansas City. Chris Carter brought him down after an 11-yard pickup.
They had success with a power roll 2 plays ago. They run it again. Must have been a heck of a halftime speech by Gunther Cunningham, because he told us he can be a tyrant. Watch the down blocking right here. You'll see Big Zott pull around. Boom, Andy Katzenmoyer face to face. Clears the hole. Bam Morris through the hole. Runs over Lawyer Malloy. That's it. Positive yardage. Big Bam. If you're going to get a little guy like Lawyer Malloy hitting you on the legs, he just dishes them off and gets extra yardage.
They have already surpassed their entire total rushing from the first half. This is their first drive of the second half. Pushing the pile ahead to the 36-yard line. You know, Gunther Cunningham will coach with tough love, but there is a compassionate side to him. He told us all about it on Friday. Also, in trying to motivate his team, he put together a music video with a Phil Collins song in the air tonight with a bunch of Kansas City Chiefs highlights. Only problem, Gunther thought it was a new cutting-edge hit from Phil Collins.
And we're both sitting there saying, the new one for Phil Collins?
Yeah.
And then he told us the name, and we're looking at each other like...
I think that was 83.
Yeah, like
Gunther.
83 or 84.
But neither of us had the guts to tell him.
He doesn't get out much.
On a 2nd and 5. Gerback scrambling and sliding down. Able to get to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard, as Andy Katzenmoyer was creeping in to meet him.
Tackled by Andy Katzenmoyer.
The big cat, Andy Katzenmoyer. This is what he sees through a middle linebacker's eyes. Reading the offense. Goes for the fake. He drops off in coverage and plants and says, there's the quarterback. Let me take my shot at him. I'll find it. He gets it.
You know, Gerback has been criticized in the past for maybe not sliding down and taking the hit because he is such a big guy. Gerback, 6'5", 237 pounds. You know what, though? The linebackers are big as well.
They usually mean business. Once you pull the ball down and run, they're going to take your head off.
On a 3rd and 5, Gerback in the pocket. Passing situation, ball deflected and caught at the 30-yard line. It came off of Tony Richardson. He was the intended receiver. It's a 7-yard pickup. And Donnell Bennett, the receiver on the play, as Derek Alexander able to get to his feet after taking a shot in the traffic.
Chris Carter made the tackle.
So Alexander will go to the sideline. That's a first down throw.
That is, and here's Alexander on the outside. A look at Derek Alexander taking the hit on the play. The ball's in the air, he goes after the ball, and he gets nailed right there by Teddy Bruschi.
A jump ball situation following the deflection, and maybe a sign of how things are turning for the Kansas City Chiefs. In the first half, that might be a pick.
Absolutely, and it looks like Johnny on the spot. One player tips it up in the air, the next player catches it, but luckily they wore the same color jersey.
Derek Alexander in obvious pain on the sidelines. He is now the #1 receiver for the Chiefs, supplanting Andre Rison for that role. He'll sit out this play at least. Bam Morris met by Lawyer Malloy. That's a big body in Morris and a big hitter in Malloy head on.
And Malloy came from about 100 yards out of the picture to make this play. He came blitzing from day one, and he was deep in the defensive backfield, but a heck of a hit, man-to-man, mano-a-mano, takes him down with only a 1-yard gain.
Back with Derek Alexander. He has been one of the most productive receivers in the game in recent years, but maybe doesn't get some of the attention that other receivers have gotten around the NFL. And Ty Law told us, if not for Derek Alexander, he might not be as good a football player as he is right now. He pushed him so hard at Michigan when they went head-to-head in practice.
That was great at Ty Law. He told us to thank him because it made him really the player he is today.
On a 2nd and 9 following the 1-yard gain. Gerback able to dump it off. Finds Horn on a cross. Stays on his feet. Joe Horn straddling that sideline. And a first down for KC. Chris Carter had a chance to bring him down. Instead, Horn turns it into a 15-yard gain.
Nice job of Horn staying with the route, waiting out the route. The quarterback, Elvis Gerback, goes into motion, makes his plant, and all he does is slices across the field underneath the coverage. Gerback gets in the ball, he catches it, then he makes a play. Looking to pick up blockers down the field to play. Nice job by the wide receiver, Joe Horn.
7-3, New England leading Kansas City, with the Chiefs on a long extended drive to open play here in the 3rd quarter. On a 1st and 10 from the 13, Donnell Bennett. Patriots were ready. Lawyer Malloy leading the charge.
Lawyer Malloy is one heck of a safety. He's come to play in the 2nd half. Lawyer Malloy is a player we talked to a couple of weeks ago when we had him against Cleveland. He saw my Super Bowl ring. He said, I've got one of those. I got one my first year, but I don't have one of those, a winner's ring. And he just looked at it and admired it for a while. And here's a player that sacrificed for this team. He's played hurt. He is the leader on that defense. He'll hit you. He can cover. Here's a young player that deserves to go to Honolulu. He needs to go to the Pro Bowl this year because he's having a great season.
Dave Zott, the left guard, just limped off the field. Gerback on a rollout. Able to make the connection as they inch closer to the goal line to Donnell Bennett. Fans like what they see. A 9-yard gain, maybe 10, depending on the spot.
And this is a wonderful job by quarterback Elvis Gerback of improvisation. Goes to the outside. It's a dash play. He rolls to the right. Looks like he's going to run the ball. He gets the linebacker to come and meet him, McGinnis. Then he turns and dumps the ball to Donnell Bennett over the top. Great job by Gerback. That's leading your football team.
It is very close to a first down, depending upon the measurement. Not quite enough. So it will be 3rd and short. Clock is stopped with 8:04 remaining in the 3rd. Tony Gonzalez, good to see him on the football field after taking that hit to the knee in the first half when he coughed up the football. It was Kato Sirwanga that laid him out, and he came in with his helmet. The 12th play of the drive for Kansas City. This is exactly what the Chiefs needed, a long drive. Keep their defense off the field, first of all, and to establish the run.
Whatever Gunther Cunningham told his football team at halftime, he better bottle it and use it in the future.
Inside handoff. Trying to make his way to the end zone, Tony Richardson. He's got a first down. And now the Chiefs will have a few cracks at it right on the break of the goal line.
The offense for the Kansas City Chiefs, they've come out like men on a mission. They had their jaw jutted in the 2nd half. They've taken the bull by the horns, and they've just smushed the defense of the New England Patriots here, just battling for extra yardage in the pile. That's what you need. You need guys to go over and above.
On the inside give, Tony Richardson didn't get it. Eddie Katzenmoyer among those New England tacklers in on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Ryan, I'd be very surprised with Gunther Cunningham's attitude, the way that he looks at a football game, that they would throw the ball in this situation. Mean, tough, let's punch the ball in. Let's set the standard right here and let them know that we're physical at the point of attack.
Donnell Bennett will be the running back, along with Richardson. 2 options in the backfield for Gerbach. On a 2nd and goal, Chiefs looking for the lead. Gonzalez, the motion man. Handoff, Bennett trying to leap. 2nd effort, he's in. Touchdown, Kansas City. These fans did not see much offense in the first half. They got about 8 minutes worth here at the start of the second half.
That's one heck of a drive by the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming out after halftime, determined, taking the ball, punching it down the field to play, then the extra effort on the goal line. There's always one extra guy that's not going to be blocked on the goal line. He's up to the back to run over. Donnell Bennett, 2nd effort. That's exactly what he did.
And the 2nd touchdown of the season for Bennett as Stojanovic adds the extra point. And the Kansas City Chiefs take the lead on New England. We are in the 3rd quarter. 10-7, KC. Red just about everywhere you look here at Arrowhead Stadium. And most of the fans on their feet as the Chiefs have taken a 10-7 lead here in the 3rd. Kevin Falk from the 13. Falk has a lane. Kevin Falk is twirled down at the 44-yard line. Eric Warfield with the tackle on special teams. And the longest run for Falk of the season. 10-7, Chiefs. The 26th all-time meeting between these two teams. Kansas City leads the series with a mark of 14-8-3. 40th anniversary for both of these franchises. 10-7, Chiefs in front of the Patriots. New England with good field position. Terry Allen trying to take it up the middle, but Marvcus Patton was ready. No gain on the play. Coming up Monday on CBS, Ray's guilty of letting sports get in the way of, well, you know. But is that his only problem? Ray's little secret is out. Everybody's going to know about it. You will too on an all-new Everybody Loves Raymond. Monday, right here on CBS. Injury update, Troy Brown will not return because of an ankle injury. Derek Alexander, rib contusion. His return is questionable. Allen bouncing off a tackler. Terry Allen cutting it to the outside, able to string that play out and make something positive happen. A 9-yard gain. Broke 3 tackles on that play. And maybe this is the wake-up call that New England has needed for their running attack.
Well, they need it from a guy like Terry Allen because he sells out on this play. Talk about determination. Gets nailed in the backfield by Derek Thomas. Outruns that tackle, then circles the defense. Loses a tackle right there, and Eric Hicks gets pushed out of bounds by Donnie Edwards, but a great run by Terry Allen. 3rd and 1. Straight ahead through the gaping hole. Terry Allen has a first down and then some. A 15-yard scamper up the middle. And this is what you expect out of a running back. When you want to run the ball hard, move the chains, you give it to a guy like Terry Allen. I've got the utmost respect for him. 2 reconstructed knees, still playing in the NFL. Gets a huge hole by the offensive line. Head-to-head right there. Boom. Get out of my way. I'm not done yet. Needs to circle the wagon to the defense to bring him down. 1 tackler won't get him to the ground.
You mentioned the 2 reconstructed knees. You have 1 reconstructed knee,
and it took me a year, and I knew, and I still know, all the work and the dedication it took to get back to the NFL. He's had 2, which is unbelievable.
Bledsoe in the pocket. Bledsoe on a rollout, throwing. Safety valve was Carter. Probably better off that it was incomplete anyway. Eric Hicks was applying the pressure. And Tony Carter would have turned and faced a tackler.
Plenty of protection right here, but he's forced out, and he's forced to the right, and Eric Hicks stays and contained on the outside. As soon as the quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, rolls to the right, that's when he makes his break to the quarterback for pressure.
Lamont Warren will be in the backfield as Hicks goes to the sideline for Kansas City. Play clock is winding down. Can they get it off in time? They do. Bledsoe, hurry, and bounces one to Warren, incomplete. Tom Bart getting into the pocket and getting into the face of Drew Bledsoe.
They tried to run a screen on this play, and for the offensive lineman, you have to hit the defense at least a 1.5 count. They never touch Tom Bart. He goes right between the left guard and center. No one puts a hand on him, puts pressure on Drew Bledsoe, and that's why the play is not successful, because of the rush of Tom Bart from the defensive tackle position.
Well, maybe because Bart is a converted offensive lineman, he understands.
Smart guy. He's got to be a smart guy.
3rd and 10. Bledsoe has been under some pressure. Just 2 sacks for the Kansas City defense. And Bledsoe is forced to take a timeout. Play clock was rolling down. And a stoppage with 4:53 remaining in the 3rd. Kansas City with the edge. They lead the Patriots 10-7.
Earlier on the NFL Today.
I think Shanahan really underestimated the team's desire to have Bubby Brister the quarterback in the offseason.
We're very hungry to win and to try to get this team going in the right direction.
Let's put a fork in this Denver three-peat talk until they get 3 wins.
Game's on the line. What do you want to play, zone or man-to-man?
Man, by far.
For all the latest on the NFL, watch the NFL Today. Next Sunday at noon Eastern on CBS.
A long Kansas City drive ate up most of the time here in the 3rd quarter. Patriots in the 3rd this year. This is really where they've dominated. They've been outscored 7-0 here today. 37-13 on the season. That includes the 7 points that Kansas City has put on the board in the 3rd quarter here this afternoon. On a 3rd and 10. Bledsoe throwing right at the marker and incomplete. Ben Coates, the intended receiver, and Coates is looking for his first catch here today. He was shut out last week against Cleveland.
In the middle of the line, Chester McLaughlin right in your screen, 75, makes a move outside, pushes, goes around everybody, just pressure on the quarterback. He's been doing an outstanding job of putting pressure on quarterbacks. Hadn't had sacks, but he gets to the quarterback in their face and he forces them to throw the ball early.
Adam Vinatieri has 63 family and friends on hand at the game today, all wearing Patriot blue. This is a 49-yard field goal attempt. Vinatieri's kick, no good. Adam Vinatieri's bid to tie this game at 10, unable to convert. So Kansas City holds on to the 10-7 lead here in the 3rd quarter.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Microsoft. Where do you want to go today? And by Degree.
Coming into today's game, the New England Patriots did not have a halftime lead this entire season until today. But maybe the trend is working against them. Kansas City has taken the lead. And now the running game is working. Donnell Bennett crossing midfield. 12-yard burst for Bennett. And a first down for the Chiefs.
What's been impressive by the running backs of the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't go down with the first tackle. It's Andy Katzenmoyer, the fine linebacker, the rookie for New England, down on the play. But going back, they don't go down on the first tackler, and they run it running back by committee, so they stay fresh in the game.
If you're a defense, you don't know who's coming next. Sheehy went down with the injury, so we have seen Bennett and Morris and a little bit of Richardson here in the 3rd quarter. Injury to Andy Katzenmoyer. We'll step aside and come back with 4:18 to play in the 3rd quarter. Andy Katzenmoyer appears to be okay after Chad Eaton rolled up on the back of him on the last play. So Marty Moore will step in at middle linebacker for this one play. Katzenmoyer, I'm sure, will come back in. No Derek Alexander, as we talked about, a rib contusion. Kevin Lockett, Joe Horn, the receivers on 1st and 10. On a handoff, spinning away, Donnell Bennett now trying to cut it to the outside, and he is dragged down from behind by Lawyer Malloy, and a flag comes down. Henry Thomas had a chance to bring down Bennett initially, but it's coming back, holding against Kansas City.
Holding. Number 81. Offense. 10 yards. First down.
It's Kevin Lockett, the young wide receiver in his third year out of Kansas State.
And at the top of the screen, everybody has to block in the NFL. Wide receivers, running back, he's got a grip to the outside of the numbers, and they're going to get you every time. You have to have a grip if you're going to have it on the inside of the numbers, and he has Steve Israel on the outside. They'll call you for that hold every time.
Something you perfected during your playing days?
Inside the numbers. Grab them right inside the numbers, you never get called.
And we're getting your insights into dirty play.
And that's legal.
Off of play action. Gerback. So much time in the pocket. Throwing to the sideline. And complete. Joe Horn brings it in just shy of the 45-yard line and shy of the first down. NFL Today report and Jim Nantz.
Well, Doug Flutie's doing it again at home. Look at this little fake to the right, looks back left. Jay Remersma waiting for him. Flutie's third touchdown pass of the day, and the Bills are up 10, and they're in the fourth quarter. Let's go back to you.
The guy knows how to win, Jim. That's just the bottom line with Doug Flutie.
He's amazing. Every time we watch him play, he always does something else, and he's a heck of a quarterback.
On 2nd and 8, handoff for Bennett. Kicking his spot to the interior as he turned inside. Not enough for the first down. Andy Katzenmoyer, as mentioned, back on the field for New England as Malloy and Thomas combined on the tackle.
Andy Katzenmoyer has 7 tackles today. Here he's going to play the run. Go down the line of scrimmage. Play the keyboard. Let your tackles take those linemen off of you. Get in on the tackle. There he gets on the legs. Doesn't make the tackle, but that's a good job of following the play down the line of scrimmage.
Ted Johnson, who normally would play middle linebacker, is out with a bicep injury, and apparently he has been so helpful in the development of Andy Katzenmoyer. Johnson may return by week 10, we're hearing now, as a possibility. On 3rd down, pass and a catch. Joe Horn. Down to the 25-yard line, and they'll move the chains after the 16-yard hookup.
That was a wonderful job by Joe Horn. He doesn't look back to the ball or put his hands up until the ball's there. Makes a great move, a hit to the outside, slaps the arms away of Israel. As soon as the ball's there, puts his arms up, catches the ball, brings it down. Another first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. Great job of Gerback getting the ball exactly where Joe Horn can catch it.
How many NFL players can you name from Itawamba Junior College?
Just one.
You'll go with the one. Guess who? Joe Horn, 4 catches, 75 yards. On a 1st and 10 from the 27. Off of play action. Gerback with that moving pocket again. And he will just scamper out of bounds. Right around the 27-yard line. Maybe gained a yard. Brandon Mitchell was applying the pressure. And it forced Gerback to the outside.
Good pressure by the defense, covering everybody downfield, but this team plays as a team now. If you look at the end of the play, Tony Richardson gets a good block for his quarterback, Elvis Gerback. Get inside the game with CBS Sportsline's Week 5 Leaders feature and see today's leaders in passing, rushing, receiving, and kicking in real time. It's live right now. Just click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. On the handoff, Bam Morris trying to make the Patriots miss. But he was cut down low right around the 27-yard line. Lost a yard of the play. Teddy Bruschi limping after the play, and he's been playing injured here for the Patriots. They desperately need him on the field, in addition to the fact that he's one of the leaders defensively now, and Bernard Russ, who is his backup, is out of action. Russ suffered a knee injury earlier today. On a 3rd and 10, Gerback has completed his last 8 passes. But maybe the element of surprise with the run. Bam Morris up the middle. Not enough for the first down, and Kansas City fans wanted to see the Chiefs try to get that first down through the air. Joe Horn and quarterback Elvis Gerback have been working together wonderfully, particularly in the second half. That's a play where they needed to go back to Joe Horn. He catches the ball when you throw it towards this area. He makes something happen after the catch. That's an area where I dump the ball and get it in his hands and let him do something big with the football. Short pass, long run. Instead, the Chiefs will settle for the field goal attempt in an attempt to extend their lead. Made a 22-yarder earlier. Pete Stoyanovich. This one from 41 yards away. They will reset the clock. 15 seconds currently showing on the clock. And Bob McElwee wants more time put on the board.
3-7, 37 seconds. Thank you.
37 seconds. Nice of Bob to thank the clock operator.
That's great. I'll tell you what, he's taking charge of this game.
He has.
You like that out of officiating crew.
Here's Stojanovic. 41-yard attempt. Good snap. And the kick is good. Just nudged it through from 41 yards away.
Ugly, but he'll take it.
Bit of a knuckleball off the hole. Counts just the same. And now the Chiefs in front, 13-7. Final stages of the third quarter.
Petey shaking his head. Oh, man, that's ugly. That's ugly. But after the game, he said, I'm 2 for 2.
Great ambiance, terrific environment. Gunther Cunningham loves coaching football here in Kansas City. He gets about 3 hours of sleep a night, so early in the morning he'll go to the gas station or the grocery store. Everybody knows him.
He's like a rock star now. As you said, he looks Tommy Lee Jones a little bit. When he goes out in public, he can't have a personal life or a private life anymore because everyone knows him. Everyone recognizes him. And he told us, he goes, now I know how the players feel.
But he also said he loves talking football. You know, it could be a 75-year-old woman and she'll ask him about Rashawn Sheehy.
And you know, he'll sit there on a napkin and draw up a play. Now, we should use Sheehy this formation, I think, this week. What do you think, Grandma?
They do know their football here in Kansas City, a great football town. 40th anniversary of the Kansas City Chiefs, Lamar Hunt, of course, the owner, and one of the pioneers in all of sports for the formation of the American Football League, the AFL. And Bob Kraft told us that Mr. Hunt may have the best owner's box in the NFL.
I tried to get in there. He even told us, he said, you know, they've got a bedroom in there. I really wanted to see that. That would be Ken. I'd love to see it.
Security guards wouldn't let you through. Stojanovic, a short kick from the 8. Kevin Falk had a long return earlier of 31 yards, not this time. He crossed the 25-yard line, but Lonnie Johnson made the stop after the 19-yard return.
And Greg Minuski. 20 yards on the return.
14 seconds left in the third quarter. Click on to NFL.com and get all the sortable stats and everything you need. NFL.com, your place for the latest news and information. Also, Edgerrin James, he's off to a fast start. You can log on to NFL.com, find out what makes this rookie go. 13-7, Kansas City with a lead. New England with a football, just their second possession of the third quarter. Bledsoe just lofts it in the air over the head of Chris Floyd. Let's head to New York right now, get an NFL Today report.
Yes, we've got an update for you, Ian. Coming up, many will see Denver at Oakland. We just received word Brian Griese will start for the Broncos. Bubby Brister will be the emergency third quarterback. They reveal that he has a pulled muscle in the rib cage area, so Griese has the start again. Let's go back to Ian and Mark.
So the storyline has changed there. Some felt maybe Chris Miller would get an opportunity at quarterback at some point.
He just needs to get healthy. He hasn't had any luck of staying healthy.
Final seconds of the third. On a pitch, Lamont Warren counter, cutting against the grain and moving it ahead to the 30-yard line. Picked up 3, maybe 3.5, and that will be the final play of the third quarter. Kansas City. Iron Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew on hand in Kansas City, where the Chiefs lead the Patriots 13-7. We start play in the fourth quarter, and the Pats face a 3rd and 7 at their own 30. Bledsoe throwing, incomplete. Flag comes down, a late flag. Terry Glenn was in some traffic.
There's a penalty flag now.
We'll see if that's what the penalty is dealing with.
And that was an awful late flag on Donnie Edwards.
It is against the Chiefs.
Defensive pass interference, number 59, first down.
Donnie Edwards. So a first down for New England as we take a look.
Right across the middle of your screen, right there, just nails Glenn.
Well, that is pass interference.
If you're going to do it right.
Just happened to be a late flag. Usually on those late flags, you begin to question exactly what went down. That was fairly blatant.
None at all.
On a handoff, Terry Allen finding a hole out to the 40-yard line. He picked up 6 on the play as Marcus Patton made the stop. New England Patriots, the only 4-0 team in the NFL. Dallas and St. Louis also undefeated at 3-0, but both teams have had bye weeks. Patriots trying to improve to 5-0 for the first time since 1974. The only problem that year, the finished the year 7-7 despite that 5-0 start. Second half, the Pats have been unable to get anything going offensively. They really haven't had the football enough. Terry Allen, good run for Allen as he crosses midfield, and a new set of downs for the Patriots to work with after the 10-yard run.
Now, with Terry Allen, he told us it came down to two teams, Detroit and New England, on who he was going to sign, who he was going to play for. And he said the reason why he didn't go to Detroit is they played Minnesota twice here. He wanted to go to a team that was going to win.
Working very quickly here, Drew Bledsoe. He thrives in that kind of system as he could not find Terry Allen in the flat. 2nd and 10 coming up. Probably could have gone to Detroit for more money, but wanted to go to a winner and maybe a chance for a Super Bowl, something that he told us.
And the other key was Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator. He said Ernie Zampese and Norv Turner are like clones of one another. So I really knew this offense, just a little bit of different terminology, but I could fit right in with this offense.
Zampese up top, watching this from the booth. There he is. And a 2nd and 10 from the 50. Motion man floor. Bledsoe under heat. Drew Bledsoe is brought down. Leslie O'Neal was the first man to get there. And the Chiefs finished him off. 3rd Kansas City sack.
And old Leslie O'Neal, his 129th career sack. No one touches him. He comes off the edge, gets right in Drew Bledsoe's face, makes the sack on Bledsoe. But Leslie O'Neal, talking to Gunther Cunningham, he said, hey, I talked to our trainers. Our trainer's been around 25 years. He told me Leslie O'Neal is the toughest player he's ever played around. Plays hurt, practices hurt, sacrifices for the team. He's an older guy, but we love to have him on our football team.
He just passed Ricky Jackson for 7th place on the all-time list. On a 3rd and 11, flag comes down. Bledsoe, safety valve, Ben Coates, creating after the catch. Coates crossing the 30-yard line. We told you about the marker. A 21-yard pass play. Bledsoe to Coates. Is this one coming back? Yes.
Illegal shift, offense, 2 men moving, and they did not reset prior to the snap. That's a 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So the Patriots were not set on the line of scrimmage. You see the motion.
Right there. You don't see the other one in the screen, but Ben Coates is in motion. It must have been someone on the outside. But that's basic elementary football. Hey, get set. One guy moves. Before the ball snaps, only one guy can be in motion.
So instead of a 1st down deep in Kansas City territory, Patriots now face a 3rd and 16. We are early in the 4th quarter. Shotgun formation. Good protection. Bledsoe. Picked off. Intercepted by James Hasty. Terry Glenn, the intended receiver. But New England hands the football over to the Chiefs. 2nd interception of the day for Bledsoe. 4th New England turnover. Kansas City has the ball. When we come back. Drew Bledsoe 0 for 6 in the 2nd half. He has been a tremendous 2nd half quarterback so far this season. Not the case today as Kansas City takes over following the hasty interception. And Bam Morris running in a crowd right around the 35-yard line. Ferrick Owens making the tackle. Bledsoe in the 1st half put up good numbers, including the long touchdown pass to Terry Glenn. But here in the 2nd half, Bledsoe has been throwing into double coverage on a number of occasions.
He's been pressing, he's been forcing the football, and you can tell right there his 2nd half numbers, 0 for 6, 1 interception. That's the problem. If you press, that's when you have problems. You see the Band-Aid on his chin, that's when getting knocked around by the Kansas City defense.
On 2nd and 7, Morris gets the call, cutting it against the grain and crossing the 35 to the 37. Steve Israel in on the tackle. Should make mention, John Tate. He is the rookie out of BYU, the 1st-round pick, and he is seeing his first action in the NFL. This is the first time he has been active. He missed all of training camp after a lengthy holdout. Came in as a highly regarded offensive lineman.
Not only that, he's going to get his first test about right now. It's 3rd and 5, most likely a pass. We'll keep an eye on John Tate because most likely he'll go against Willie McGinnis. That should be a pretty good battle. He'll probably welcome him to the NFL.
This is a 3rd and 5. Tate is playing left tackle. Gerback throwing underneath and complete. Kevin Lockett has the first down for the Chiefs. He was working on Ty Law. A 9-yard gain.
Good protection up front, and Big John Tate, he holds up pretty good. Gets a little help from Dave's out at the end of the play, but he's against an old-timer out there, and Henry Thomas at defensive end. That's not like Henry. Gets help at the end by his out, but nice job by Tate, getting his hands in there, getting his knees bent. Good job by the rookie.
They've been using McGinnis on the right side and the left side. We have seen him a lot at left end so far today on a handoff for Bennett. Struggles his way to get to the 47-yard line. Picked up about 2 as Chad Eaton made the tackle. But Donnell Bennett helped get things started for this Kansas City offense at the start of the 3rd quarter. That long drive right now is the key to the game.
He's just banging away, and he continues to bang, and he won't go down with the first tackler. That's so key in the NFL. If you can get by that first tackle, you're going to pick up big-time yardage. He just doesn't go down. He's just so physical and powerful at the running back position.
Elvis Gerback, 6 of 6 throwing the football here in the second half. Compare that to the 0 of 6 of Bledsoe. Bennett didn't have any room to work with as Andy Katzenmoyer was able to smell that one out from the start. A loss of 1 on the play. Leading rushers for KC. It's been Bennett most of the time. Rashawn Sheehy, he got the start, his 2nd consecutive start, but suffered a hip contusion in that 2nd quarter.
But they do a great job of spreading it around, getting guys touches out of the backfield. They want to find out, hey, who's having success today? The guy that's hot today that has a hot hand, he's going to get the ball moving.
On a 3rd and 9, Gonzalez sets up as a receiver. A 4-receiver look. Patriots crowd the line. Gerback throwing right at the marker and complete. Flag comes down. Kevin Lockett makes another first down grab. Bob McElwee getting the word.
Donnell Bennett had a tremendous block. They came with a blitz up the middle, got a good forearm on Lawyer Malloy, just enough time for Elvis Gerback to throw the ball down the field.
Defensive pass interference number 21. First down.
Steve Israel. And give Elvis Gerback credit. He did not look comfortable in the first half. He has looked very comfortable in the second half, standing in the pocket.
Remember I talked about Elvis finding his rhythm? When they went to the no-huddle 2-minute offense, he was hot. He was snapping. He was moving the ball left, right, throwing it down the field play. He found his groove and his niche in the game. And I think he just carried that over in the second half.
Gerback had 2 touchdown passes last week in the loss to San Diego, but he had 4 interceptions, including a costly one late. Now a 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. 2 in the backfield, including Bam Morris. He's lined up with Tony Richardson, who shifts over. Morris plunging into the line, unable to spin off the tackler. Chris Slade brings him down one-on-one after a loss of 2 on the play.
What they've been doing is giving them the audible, especially Elvis Gerback. They give him the option of a check with me, either go right or either go left with the football, and he changes the play at the line of scrimmage to run it to the left. But when there are 8 men in the box, they got to start changing that play to a pass on first down.
So now Morris and Richardson go to the sideline. Donnell Bennett checks in with a double tight end set. Gonzalez and Lonnie Johnson. This is a 2nd and 12. Motion man is Gonzalez. Play action. Throwing. Gonzalez brings it in. Moves it ahead right at the first down marker. He carried Chris Carter. It all depends on the spot. But Tony Gonzalez was able to do something after the catch.
They go with the naked boot. They fake it to the left. Gerback rolls to the right. Here comes pressure from the defense. Pitches the ball out to the tight end. Gonzalez comes back to catch a football, but Chris Carter ought to pay for this ride because Tony Gonzalez just drags him over for the first down. That's a freebie right there. He needs to give him a token for that one.
They will bring out the chain and take a look at just how close this is. Clock is stopped with 8:28 to play in the 4th. 78,000 plus here at Arrowhead Stadium, and that is a first down for Gonzalez and the Chiefs. Kansas City has been perfect at home with victories over Denver and Detroit. Their losses have come on the road. to Chicago, and last week they squandered a 14-0 lead to San Diego and lost 21-14. Elvis Gerback has looked very sharp here in the second half. 8 of 8 since halftime for 88 yards. On a handoff, Bennett. Not going to work for him as he gets it to the 35-yard line. A loss of 1 on the play. Marty Moore and Andy Katzenmoyer combining to make the stop.
Nothing fancy on first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. 2 backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, 1 running back, and all they're going to do is pound the football. New England knows it. They're up close to the line of scrimmage. They're running towards the football as soon as the ball snapped on first down.
But Mark, look at that clock. It continues to roll. New England just hasn't had the football enough in the second half for Bledsoe to do anything.
That's the key. When you take a good quarterback out of the game, it's your offense that runs the ball and makes him sit on his hands on the bench.
Double tight end set. Morris by himself in the backfield on a 2nd and 11. Here come the Patriots. And Morris has a hole. Bam Morris, a little shaken bait move. And he's brought down at the 12-yard line. Victor Riley with a tremendous block on this offensive line and a 23-yard run for the man they call Bam.
Outstanding job of blocking. New England comes with a rush on the outside. They're blitzing on the outside, but to the offensive right side of the Kansas City Chiefs, they do a phenomenal job of picking up hats. Bam Morris does not get touched until he's well down the field to play. That's great blocking, not only by the wide receivers outside, the offensive linemen inside. Everybody got a block on the play.
His longest run of the season, and they have used up 6 minutes off the clock. On a handoff, Bennett moving ahead across the 10-yard line. About a 4-yard gain as Willie McGinnis made the tackle. The rushing story for Kansas City, well, over the past couple of years, KC used that running game and used it well. Last year, a 7-9 season, including a 6-game losing streak. You see what happened. They just were not the same team on the ground. This year, they're getting back to it.
That was Gunther Cunningham making the commitment, telling everybody, hey, we're going to run the ball. I don't know who's going to be our back. We're going to find a way to run the ball. Offensive coordinator Jimmy Wray, he's had backs injured, starting 3 or 4 different backs this season at halfback, but they found a way to run the football.
On 2nd and 6, Bennett just keeps the legs moving, and he picks the pile up and moves them to the 4-yard line.
A chain mover. That's what you love. As an ex-offensive lineman, I love this. You're right at the part of the game where who can take control of this game? The offensive line. And Bennett just keeps pushing and churning and looking at it from the inside. The guys up front, hat on hat, pushing them out of the way, getting the double block, and there's Bennett, shoulder to shoulder, right there in front of your frame, and just running over the defensive Marty Moore. You gotta love this stuff. That's great football.
Let's call it a 3rd and 2. Morris in the backfield. On the give, Bam Morris, he is met. And that is a big play for this New England defense. Marty Moore and Andy Katzenmoyer collaborated.
And Marty Moore takes a gamble. He runs through here. Look at all the defenders in the box. Those white jerseys in the box. They go in motion to the right. The defense is left. He plays off it. He's not going for the block. Runs by the tackle. Victor Riley makes the play in the backfield. Smart play by defensive middle linebacker Marty Moore.
A field goal, though, does make this a 2-possession game. With a touchdown, it may have put this one out of reach. Here's Pete Stoyanovich. He is 2 for 2 so far today. This will be a 23-yard attempt. He is connected from 22 and 41.
23-yard attempt.
Please reset the stadium clock to 5:18. 5:18.
No thank you that time from Bob McElwain.
I think our stadium clock guy really wants Kansas City to win because he's running that clock down.
You think a hometown clock operator is going to make the difference, huh?
Oh, I used to love it. At RFK, when I played for the Redskins, we knew that they were running that clock an extra couple seconds at the end of the play. I love that stuff.
See, all the truth now comes
of
pouring
course.
out.
Hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and we won a lot of games at RFK.
Pete Stoyanovich.
Just kidding.
23-yard attempt for Stoyanovich. Holder is Daniel Pope, snapper Ralph Tan. Stoyanovich, he drills it through. And Kansas City now in front of New England, 16-7. Final moments, 4th quarter in KC.
Earlier on the NFL Today.
I think Shanahan really underestimated the team's desire to have Bubby Brister the quarterback in the offseason.
We're very hungry to win and to try to get this team going in the right direction.
Let's put a fork in this Denver 3-peat talk until they get 3 wins.
Game's on the line. What do you want to play, zone or man-to-man?
Man, by far.
For all the latest on the NFL, watch the NFL Today. Next Sunday at noon Eastern on CBS. The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the NASDAQ stock market. Rolaids. Rolaids, R-O-L-A-I-D-S, spells relief. And by priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
The Chiefs and the Patriots here in Kansas City, at least one of these teams has earned a playoff berth in each season this decade. That's how good these franchises have been. Obviously, the Parcells' influence in New England helped resuscitate that team. Kansas City has been a consistent winner. A lot of that having to do with the defense. Today, the defense has done the job. The running game showed up in the second half. And the kickoff from Stoyanovich and Lamont Warren returning. Patriots in desperate need of a big play as Warren brings it out to the 23-yard line. Greg Minuski making the tackle. 16-7. Kansas City with the edge. 4:42 to play in the fourth. Kansas City with the lead. The NFL on CBS continues later today. Some of you will see the Dolphins take on the Colts. A keen AFC East matchup. Others will watch Oakland and Denver. Broncos still looking for their first win of the season. It's coming up right here on CBS. On a 1st and 10. Bledsoe flushed out of the pocket looking for his first completion of the second half, and he didn't get it there. Lamont Warren, the intended receiver. He was out of bounds. Chester McLaughlin applying the pressure on Drew Bledsoe.
Chester McLaughlin, the 4-time Pro Bowler, he goes outside with a rip, spins back inside. The guard over and tries to cut him. He still stays with the play, and McLaughlin puts the pressure on quarterback Drew Bledsoe. He's been to 4 Pro Bowls. He needs to go to another, and if he continues to play like that, he will.
A 2nd and 10, and time beginning to run out on the Patriots. Drew Bledsoe 0 for 7, throwing the football in the second half. He has owned the second half so far this season. Bledsoe, it's complete, and it's Lamont Warren. He is brought down right at the first down marker. Marvcus Patton making the tackle. Looked like a gain of 10 and enough for a new set of downs. It is. So they'll move the change as New England will work in that hurry-up offense. 3 receivers, Jefferson, Glenn, and Simmons. Bledsoe fires and connects to Terry Glenn. Able to get out of bounds, shy of the 40-yard line, chased out by Chris Dishman. And we'll call it a 2nd and 4.
New England's done a great job of protecting Drew Bledsoe, but it's those plays where they get pressure by the Kansas City front that makes Drew Bledsoe move in the pocket. When he sits in the pocket and he's comfortable, he can pick apart any defense in the league. But once they make a move off his spot, he's a different quarterback, and they've been able to do that to Kansas City rush.
Clock is stopped with 4:06 to play in the fourth. Warren in the backfield. Parallel to Bledsoe. Bledsoe throwing over the middle and caught. Tony Simmons able to snatch it out of midair and crosses midfield for the 12-yard gain into Kansas City territory at the 49.
Heck of a job by Simmons, but Bledsoe put a lot on that pass on the slant.
1st and 10. Bledsoe stepping up and throwing, lofting it deep. Wide open Simmons, and a huge gainer for New England of 39 yards inside the 10-yard line.
Good protection in the pocket, but Chris Dishman appears that he's got help deep. He's looking deep, thinking he's got help from the safety. The safety's not over there. The safety doesn't come late. Big play by the offense of the New England Patriots. Jerome Roots gets there, but he's 3 steps, not 1 step or 2 too late.
Timeout taken by New England. They're on the move. Trying to make this a little more interesting. 16-7, Kansas City. Patriots use their 2nd timeout. They have just 1 remaining. On 1st down, Drew Bledsoe under a heavy rush, and he throws it away. Jerome Woods, the free safety, was leading the charge in the backfield. It will now be 2nd and goal from the 10.
Pressure in the middle by Chester McLaughlin goes through 2, but the rush comes from the outside. Leslie O'Neal and company and Jerome Woods nails quarterback Drew Bledsoe in the backfield. That's what they have to do. They've got to disrupt his rhythm, make him move off his comfort zone, and get him out of that point where he's got to throw the ball off balance, and the defense did it on that last play.
Second and goal from the 10. Allen in the backfield with Carter. Bledsoe, a deep drop. Throws it. Setting up the screen for Terry Allen. And he is brought down as he crossed the 10-yard line for a short gainer of 3. Reggie Tongue and Marcus Patton combining. Clock continues to move. 3:04 and counting. Patriots have just one timeout. And this is a 2-possession game. They trail by 9.
They're not going to take a lot of chances with the snap count. It's going to be first down by Bledsoe. Get the ball off.
Third and goal from the 8. Bledsoe. Pump fake, throwing. End zone caught. Touchdown, Sean Jefferson. And the Patriots are right back in it.
Just like that, it goes from a very loud environment to silence. But Sean Jefferson, a great job of working with his quarterback Bledsoe, coming back in the corner of the end zone, working with Bledsoe. It's not a great route, but what he does, he stays with it. No press coverage, which surprises me. They gave him a cushion with the speed of Jefferson. Here he goes. Pushes back off of Hasty and comes back for the football. Brilliant play by Jefferson.
His first catch of the day. Pretty good timing. Adam Vinatieri can make this a 2-point game. He does. 16-14 now. Kansas City with the lead. And with 2:43 to play in the fourth, Kansas City hoping they can get the running game going and just run out this clock. Coming up, Gunther Cunningham's team looking and searching for an identity.
And this is where it's made for Gunther Cunningham's offense. If it's not an onside kick, they get the ball back, Kansas City. This is where you've got to have first downs. They need 2 first downs. They've got to move the chains. They've been pounding the New England defense for the first 3.5 quarters. It'll show in this drive. They will continue to pound the football, but they've got to move the chains. Pete's trying to rile those troops up, getting in their faces, getting the guys fired up, saying, hey, it counts on you, defense. You've got to stop them 3 and out for us to have a chance to win this game.
Do you trust your defense and just kick it off, or do you maybe try an onside kick and catch them napping?
At this point in the game, I kick the ball off. Well over 2 minutes, you got timeouts. Kick the ball off. Hopefully you can go 3 and out, get the ball back, get your quarterback operating.
Defense has played well for the most part, for both teams, in fact. The offense didn't really see much of it from Kansas City until the second half, and that long drive that took up more than 8 minutes off the clock to start the third quarter.
Well, basically, we got out of each offense which we thought on. We thought that New England would be able to throw the ball effectively. They have at times. We thought that Kansas City could pound the football and run the ball. They have at times also, so it wasn't a big surprise on what each offense is going to do in this game.
Vinatieri does kick it off, and here's Vanover from the 9. Tamarick Vanover goes down to the ground at the 19. 10-yard return. Looked like he slid down to avoid a hit and a possible fumble.
That was interesting, to say the least. I haven't seen that one in an awful long time in the NFL. I can understand protecting the lead, but this is maybe a little bit too drastic at this point in the game.
He folded up like a tent.
Well, he's one of the best returners in the game. He's got returns as a punt returner, a kickoff returner, a wide receiver. He scored touchdowns on all 3. Here's the guy you want him to make a big play at this point in the game.
Well, he decided to go conservative, and those may have been the instructions from the sidelines. Right now, it doesn't matter. It's a 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line with Morris and Richardson. In the backfield, a handoff goes to Tony Richardson. This is what the Chiefs were looking for. Crossing the 30-yard line and a 13-yard run. First down, KC. Patriots have just one timeout to work with. They have the 2-minute warning coming up.
Phenomenal job of blocking in the interior, both guards in the center, punching a hole out for Richardson, but he stays with his blockers, follows his blockers in the middle of the field, and then he puts the punishment on the defensive secondary of the New England Patriots.
His longest run of the season. Timeout taken. New England uses their final timeout. We're back after this. 16-14. Kansas City with the lead on New England with 2:19 to play in the fourth. And the Patriots have no timeouts remaining. They do have the 2-minute warning. Pete Carroll's club has not done much offensively in the second half. That's why they find themselves in a hole. Bam Morris in the backfield. Casey just wants to run the football. They cannot on that play. Willie McGinnis making the stop on Morris. And now the Chiefs will allow the clock to run down to the 2-minute warning. And we will have our final stoppage. 2 minutes to play. KC 16, Patriots 14. Back to Arrowhead after this. 2-minute warning here at Arrowhead. Kansas City with a 16-14 edge on New England. Chiefs have the football on a 2nd and 15. If the Patriots stop the Kansas City Chiefs here, and then again on 3rd down, they're probably looking at about 40 seconds to play when they get the football back in that area. On a handoff, Bam Morris. Nowhere to run as he moves ahead to the 27-yard line. Maybe they'll give him forward progress to the 28. Pete Carroll has no timeouts remaining.
In this scenario where you really want to milk the clock as a quarterback, take every second off before you take a snap, and they desperately need a first down. They don't want to turn the ball over on downs to Drew Bledsoe. He just let them up for a long touchdown drive. They don't want to give it back to the New England offense.
And that 2-point disparity is important. New England will only need a field goal to win this game. Now a 3rd and 14. Morris by himself in the backfield. Give it to Morris into the line. And Kansas City is content just using up as much clock as possible, knowing full well that they're not going to take a chance putting the ball in the air and having an interception go back the other way.
And I can really understand being conservative in this situation, but here's a chance. I've got a mobile quarterback, run outside the pocket. If I can dump the ball off to somebody that's clearly open, do it. If not, tuck it under your arm and gain yardage. And you'll even eat up more clock doing that by just handing it off.
Daniel Pope is a rookie. This is probably the biggest punt of his career. So far, he is averaging today under 30 yards per punt. Clock moving down. 35 seconds on the clock. Chiefs have taken a timeout to avoid the delay of game penalty. Pete Carroll saying that the play clock had gone down to 00. I looked over to my right. It was at 00. But sometimes those are prearranged with the official, that they know when the clock hits 1 that the team wants a timeout. Coming up Tuesday on CBS. If Harm thought it was tough flying Mach 2 over hostile territory, wait till he gets back in the courtroom. Don't miss America's #1 action drama. It's an all-new Jag, and it's Tuesday here on CBS.
And what's very strange, a lot of the Kansas City faithful are leaving. They must know something we don't know, that the game's in the bag. It's far from over. There's a long way to go. Drew Bledsoe, even though no timeouts, he's a quarterback that can put the ball in the end zone in 3 or 4 shots. Boom, boom, boom. He's in the end zone.
A pivotal punt for Daniel Pope. Kevin Falk standing at his own 28-yard line. Pope at his own 15. Snapper is Ralph Tamm. Catches cleanly and gets it away. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And the New England Patriots, trailing the Kansas City Chiefs 16-14, have the football. I want to welcome those of you who have just watched Buffalo knock off Pittsburgh. Here it was a defensive struggle early on, but Kansas City's offense came to life in the second half. The running of Donnell Bennett, the passing of Elvis Gerback. But a quick touchdown from Bledsoe to Sean Jefferson put them right back into the game. Then the New England defense went to work and stopped the Kansas City offense. So the Patriots needing a field goal with 30 seconds left, trailing 16-14. Drew Bledsoe, he has become a comeback quarterback in the NFL, and he's done it already this year 3 times. Pass and a catch, Terry Glenn brings it in at the 41-yard line, an 8-yard pickup.
It's all Drew Bledsoe and this offense has to do. Pick your spots, take your yardage against this defense. You're not going to get anything big down the field, but we need to get our kicker, Vinatieri, a shot at this. Hey, we'll take the 7 or 8 yard completion. We've got enough time on the clock. That's all Drew Bledsoe wants to do with this offense. Move the chains to get closer down the field of play.
Vinatieri's career long is 55 yards. 25 seconds left, a 2nd and 2. Flooding the left side with 3 receivers. Bledsoe throwing it. Open man, and it's Ben Coates. His first catch of the day into Kansas City territory at the 41-yard line.
And what a time for Ben Coach to get his first reception of the day. Was shut out last week, gets his first catch today. Good protection by the offensive line. Bledsoe stands tall in the pocket, and it's just a deep out pattern by the big tight end. Ben Coach, smart enough to drag the defenders out of bounds with him. Hey, they're not going to bring him down inbounds. Dishman trying to slap the ball out of there, but Ben Coach gets out of bounds and stops the clock for the New England offense.
Vinatieri getting ready mentally. 1st and 10 now at the 41 out of the shotgun. Bledsoe floats it to the sideline, out of bounds, and stops the clock. 15 seconds to play. They still need more yardage here. They'd like to get Vinatieri in that 40 to 45-yard field goal range if possible.
And now here comes the dilemma for Pete Carroll, the head coach of New England. Do I go down the middle of the field where it's a little softer, hopefully there's enough time to go up and spike the ball, get our kicker out, or do I keep throwing the out patterns and hopefully we'll catch a 10 or 12-yard out to give Vinatieri a chance for the game-winning field goal?
Remember, New England has no timeouts. Shotgun formation. Bledsoe flings it towards the sideline. One-on-one, catch made. Sean Jefferson. Flag is down. He was working with Eric Warfield on that sideline. Jefferson had the touchdown grab earlier this quarter. Will it be pass interference?
Holding, number 44 defense. The penalty is declined. First down.
It is holding on Eric Warfield, and now they are certainly within Vinatieri's range.
And that's the biggest play of the game. To the outside, they fight. Both defensive cornerback and wide receiver, they're fighting for position. His head is turned for the football. That is a bad call. I don't agree with that call.
Adam Vinatieri on the field, a chance to give New England the lead with 9 seconds to play. 32-yard field goal attempt. Patriots trailing by 2. Vinatieri, he's a clutch field goal kicker. Hit the upright. No good. No good. Adam Vinatieri misses from 32 yards away. And Kansas City will hold on and hand New England their first loss of the season. Adam Vinatieri had 2 game-winning field goals earlier this season, had another field goal in a 3rd victory that ended up being the difference for New England.
And he's 9 for 10 coming into this game. He's 0 for 2 today. Snap is good. The ball is down. The kick is up, and it just curls at the end and hits the upright. It looks like it's good. Now it's fading and pushing. Hits the upright, and doink, that's over. Another win for Gunther Cunningham and the Kansas City Chiefs. 3-2 now. They're in the hunt in the AFC West.
Pete Carroll, all the emotion on just one kick. And the reaction. It is over here in Kansas City. And the Chiefs remain undefeated at Arrowhead. The Patriots' perfect record is not. They came in 4-0, hoping to start the season 5-0 for the first time since 1974. It is their first loss of the regular season. And the Kansas City Chiefs sweat one out. And it came down to a 32-yard kick. Vinatieri missed it off the post. Pete Carroll's New England Patriots came within an inch of improving to 5-0 on the season. The offense did the job. Anything that you could ask of Drew Bledsoe, he did in this 4th quarter. A quick touchdown to Jefferson, a complete pass on a heave down the sideline to Jefferson, setting it up from 32 yards away, and Adam Vinatieri unable to connect.
And that was the play of the game, getting the ball to Sean Jefferson on the completion just before the attempted field goal. With Drew Bledsoe operating without timeouts, moving the ball down, at least giving their football team a chance to win the game.
Winners and losers, you always love to see the comparison, and Gunther Cunningham, maybe he knows that this one could have easily gone the other way. But maybe that home field advantage does play a role. Final seconds when Vinatieri is staring out at over 70,000 fans. 16-14, Kansas City a winner. NFL on CBS.